All right, our last division, the NFC South, the Atlanta Falcons.
Not our last division.
Not our last. Sorry. Whoa. I scroll down. There's more there. All right. Last South division there.
All right.
NFC South, Atlanta Falcons.
Yes. 11-6, winning the division. I think they're in great shape. They've got a quarterback they can run with for a couple of years. I think they should win a playoff game, possibly. I don't think they're going to get to the NFC Championship game, but they've got the Packers set up where Penix Jr. is behind them, behind Kirk Cousins. He can learn for a couple of years and then step right in. I like what they did.
Do you think best case scenario is winning a playoff game?
Yep. This year.
Best case scenario, Kirk Cousins becomes the league MVP on his way to a late playoff run, if not a Super Bowl. Best case scenario.
Best case scenario. Okay.
Last year, Kirk Cousins was the MVP of the league till he got hurt.
Bijan Robinson, I think, will have a breakout year this year. They've given him weapons around him. They're going to free him up. He's a great pass catcher.
You just need a quarterback that could run the offense. You have that now. And if Kirk Cousins can be the MVP of the league, they're going to make a late playoff run. He needs to break that curse, right? Primetime curse, playoff curse. And best case scenario is he breaks that. They go on a late playoff run, if not into the Super Bowl.
All right.
Carolina Panthers.
First pick in the draft. I think they're going to go 5-12. Bryce Young was just a bad pick. Maybe he'll prove everybody wrong this year.
Best case scenario, don't forget. Your opinion, best case scenario.
Okay, best case scenario, he doesn't get hurt. He lasts the year, and he grows 4 inches.
That would be a very good scenario.
Late growth spurt.
Best case scenario, Bryce Young shows that he is not an NFL bust. That is the best case scenario for the Carolina Panthers. Because right now, it's looking like that was the worst pick. Because if the Panthers don't draft him, I still think he falls a long way.
A long way. I mean, if their owner had any brains at all, he, number one, doesn't get involved in who to pick for his quarterback. And number
Wright
two,
is still your head coach.
And you go and get C.J. Stroud, and you're competing for that title in the NFC South.
Yep. All right, New Orleans Saints.
They're going to be a middle of the pack, 8-9, and maybe sneak into the playoffs depending on who gets hurt and where the chips fall. They're not a great team.
Best case scenario for the New Orleans Saints, top 5 pick. You got to rebuild, man. You got young wide receivers that are starting to develop.
They need a quarterback. Derek Carr is Derek Carr.
Listen, if you can get a top 5 pick, you can run with Derek Carr another year.
Sure.
And have that quarterback sitting behind him and kind of go that route. You're in the Derek Carr contract for another year after this. Ride it out. Best case scenario is they get a top 5 pick. They get that replacement, are able to build the team even more through the draft, and then get a top 5 pick the next year too and build up even more. They need to just bottom out at this point.
We now talk about one of my favorite teams.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They never show up for a game and lose everything they play. Best case scenario.
2 Super Bowls, man.
Yeah, I'm aware. I live there. Best case scenario, 11-6, and they win the division.
Best case scenario for me, Baker Mayfield continues to show he is an NFL starting quarterback and gets MVP votes as the Bucs get to an NFC championship game.
I shouldn't hate them as much as I do, but
they were in the NFC Central back in the day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the Battle of the Bays, man.
Let's go with that.
It goes way, way back. I mean, we were trained as children to hate the Buccaneers.
Yes.
I think people hated in Wisconsin when there was the NFC Central. I think people hated the Bucs more than any other team in the division. And I don't know why. It was just always the case.
There was that Warren Sapp, Brett Favre thing going on for a long time.
Which is funny because they were friends, but they're just competitive.
They're very competitive.
But if Baker Mayfield can continue to show he is an NFL starting quarterback and get some MVP votes, they're going to make a late run in the playoffs at that point. Because I think Baker Mayfield is still a really good quarterback, but their window is closing. Their team's getting older. They got to do something this year.